Friends, let's talk about the time Donald Trump, a man who once slapped his name on steaks, vodka, and a fake university, decided to try his hand at international diplomacy. Specifically, let's revisit his unique approach to dealing with our neighbors to the north and south. You see, in the Trumpian worldview, international relations are just like a real estate deal, but with more flags and slightly less spray tan. Now, any good deal requires leverage, and what better leverage than threatening to absorb entire countries into the United States? That's right, folks. During his time in the Oval Office, Trump floated the idea of Mexico and Canada becoming states. It's unclear if anyone bothered to ask Mexico or Canada about this. Perhaps they were too busy trying to locate their collective jaws after they hit the floor. This wasn't just some off-the-cuff remark at a rally, though those were plentiful too. Trump genuinely seemed to believe that statehood was a tempting offer, a golden ticket to the land of freedom fries and questionable reality TV. He even reportedly brought it up with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Trudeau, a man known for his diplomatic skills, likely responded with the political equivalent of a polite cough and a swift change of subject. The heart of Trump's logic, and I use the term loosely, was his claim that the US heavily subsidizes both Mexico and Canada. According to his calculations, which were likely scribbled on a napkin with a Sharpie, we were sending billions upon billions of dollars to these countries. Now the actual figures are, shall we say, debatable. Experts politely pointed out that Trump's math seemed to be about as accurate as a weather report from a groundhog. But facts, as we all know, are pesky little things that have a nasty habit of getting in the way of a good narrative. Trump, a man who once claimed he had the largest inauguration crowd in history, spoiler alert, he didn't, was never one to let reality cramp his style. He painted a picture of a generous, even naive United States being taken advantage of by its crafty neighbors. The implication was clear. Mexico and Canada needed to step up and start paying their fair share, and if that meant becoming states, well, that was just the price of doing business with the great deal-maker himself, Donald J. Trump. Of course, no Trumpian negotiation would be complete without the threat of tariffs, those economic penalties that are about as subtle as a sledgehammer in a china shop. Trump saw tariffs as the ultimate bargaining chip, a way to bring Mexico and Canada to their knees and force them to accept his terms. He threatened to slap tariffs on everything from cars to avocados, seemingly unaware that such a move would also hurt American businesses and consumers. But hey, who needs economic stability when you can have a good old-fashioned trade war, right? Trump, a man who once declared bankruptcy 6 times, seemed to relish the prospect of an economic showdown. He believed that his sheer willpower and negotiating prowess, again 2 qualities that are up for debate, would be enough to secure a victory. The problem was, as usual, that Trump's understanding of economics was about as deep as a kiddie pool. Tariffs, it turns out, are a bit more complicated than simply slapping a price tag on another country's goods. They have a nasty habit of backfiring, hurting both sides of the equation and potentially leading to economic instability. But again, why worry about boring old details like that when you can just tweet angrily about unfair trade deals? And so, we come to the grand finale, the piece de resistance of Trump's North American strategy statehood. The idea itself was absurd, bordering on comical. Imagine, if you will, a world where Mexico and Canada, 2 proud and independent nations with their own rich histories and cultures, willingly agree to be absorbed into the United States. It's a scenario so outlandish that it could only exist in the mind of a man who once starred in a reality TV show about pretending to fire people. But for Trump, it all made perfect sense. After all, what better way to solve the problem of Mexico and Canada than to simply make them part of the United States? No more borders, no more tariffs, no more pesky foreign leaders to deal with. Just one big, happy, Trump-led North American empire. It was a vision so audacious, so utterly divorced from reality, that it left even his most ardent supporters scratching their heads. In the end, of course, Trump's grand plan for North American domination went nowhere. Mexico and Canada politely declined his offer of statehood, shocking, I know. And the tariffs, while disruptive, didn't quite bring about the economic apocalypse that some had feared. But the episode serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of electing a man who seemed